Hello and welcome to She Boss Talk. I am Shantae R. Roddy. I am coming on today to talk about 9 stimulus relief programs for your small business. So yesterday I mentioned this during our live stimulus update that I would be coming on to really talk about some of the other programs that are existing right now that you can take advantage of for your small business to make sure that you get financial relief so that you can reopen your business, or you can pivot your business or scale your business. Whatever your business goals are, we know that we need capital, we need funding, we need money to be able to move our businesses forward. So many businesses contact me on a regular basis saying that they need money, but there's still millions out there that don't know about all of the different programs that are out here that are available. So I want to make sure I come on today to talk about 9 of them, and most likely I'll talk about more. I'll also talk about some state programs that are available as well. Most of these are administered by the SBA, but not all of them are administered by the SBA. Not all go through the SBA. So I'll be walking through those and letting you know how you can claim some of these benefits if you have not done so already. So do come on in. Welcome all of you all of our current subscribers. If you have not subscribed already, do subscribe to our channel. Definitely help us out. We've been helping you guys out. If you enjoy our content, you definitely want to stay connected. Hit that notification bell so you are notified every time that I go live here on our channel. Also hit that thumbs up, show us some love so more people can see this video, and then do comment. Let us know who you are, where you're hailing from, and what your business is. What is your industry? What do you need most right now? So when I see the comments, I can go back and answer some questions for you, provide you some referrals or help if I can do so. I'm happy to always do that because we want to make sure that you're moving your business forward, that we don't stay stuck, because there's still so many that are just stuck, right? Even with some of these stimulus programs that are out right now, you're still stuck in the process. So we try to give you information and resources to get you unstuck so that you can get approved and funded for these programs. So I'm again going to just focus on 9 of these programs to let you know. So we already know that the Paycheck Protection Program has closed. Don't know if it's going to reopen or not, if it will ever be extended. We know that the Restaurant Revitalization Grant also closed, although applications are still in the pipeline for both. They closed. And so we are anticipating that the Restaurant Revitalization Grant will reopen. There's a bill right now to add more funding to the pot. I talked about that in yesterday's video, especially those that have already applied that, again, are stuck because of litigation. There are some issues with the program, and applicants that have been funded actually are on hold. So they can't actually get their money into their bank accounts due to the litigation that's causing even more delays. But even with that said, there are other programs I want to make sure that you know that are available so you can see if it is appropriate for you. If you qualify, then you definitely want to make sure that you apply for the program. So first, I'll start with the SBA program. So EIDL is the Economic Injury Disaster Loan Program. This has been around since COVID started way back in 2020 when they enacted the CARES Act law that had a ton of different relief benefits. This has been ongoing since then, and it has been extended through December 31st of 2021. So if you have not applied for the EIDL loan, you have to have been in business as of January 31st of 2020, and you have to have at least 500 employees or less. 500 employees or less. You can be an independent contractor, gig worker, and qualify for this program. Self-employed small business owner, no employees, or again, up to 500 employees and qualify for an EIDL loan. Now, one thing to note is that the EIDL loan, it is not a forgivable loan, okay? Like the PPP, it is not forgivable, although people have, advocates have called for it to be forgivable. It is not. But the loan term, this is a longer term a loan, disaster loan program. So 30-year maturity, 3.75% interest rate, 2.75% for a nonprofit. So I have a lot of peers who have applied for the loan that have been funded. They have it open up for increases now. I know a lot of you all have applied for increases as well and are on hold for that because it's a longer process to get through to verify that your business is eligible, to verify that you have to match the tax records and income that you stated back in 2020 if you apply for the program, to see if that matches now. So sometimes there's been some major discrepancies there, which can cause a holdup in that. But the loan is available. So if you have not applied, I would encourage you to do so, and see if you can get approved. Now they do run your credit. Okay, so they do check your credit. That is one of the things that they look at to determine if you're going to qualify for the program. If you get denied, you can go through the reconsideration process. I know there's still probably some people that's been denied that haven't even thought that they can file for reconsideration and get approved. I mean, I know people that submitted reconsiderations multiple times and then eventually got approved. So you just want to make sure that when you are submitting your reconsideration, that let's do it right the first time. You can use our website as a resource. We have a COVID resource with grants listing, and there's in the sub tab, I have actually templates of what your wording and how to actually submit a request for reconsideration of your loan so that you can indeed get funded. You definitely want to make sure that you're following up with the SBA, meaning that you're calling them for a status on your loan program, and that you also check your portal. So when you apply for the loan, you do get access to the portal at some stage in the process where you look at the loan documents, the funding amount that is available, and then you will have access to the portal, and then you can check out your information there. Another thing to know with this program is that those that have loans right now, your payments are deferred. So even though it is not forgivable, again, they have great loan terms, and you don't have to pay until 2020 for most people. Until 2020, this was a change made under one of the more recent bills to allow that extension so that you don't have to be burdened in 2021 with paying it back. You can actually work on getting your business back to where it was pre-COVID. And then in 2022, then the payments will restart. Now, interest is still accruing. That does not stop, but at least you don't have to, submit that monthly payment. Now, you should have received information. If you have an SBA disaster loan, you should have received some correspondence by the SBA notifying you of the deferment, but it's automatic. It's not anything that you have to apply for. If you have the loan, it is automatic. Right now, the increases, the SBA is working to increase it to $2 million, where it should have been in the first place. That means giving business owners the ability to apply to up to $2 million. They have increased it from $150,000 to $500,000, and from 6 months of working capital to 24 months of working capital. But like I said, that is an increase that you should have received an email from the SBA, or you can go into your portal now and request an increase and let them know what amount you want to increase it to. But then wait out the process. So I know some people that got the increases relatively quickly, but many more people that have had to wait several weeks and months for the process to have their increases processed. But that is an option but it's a waiting game like everything else, where I know for a lot of business owners right now, you have a need right now. You need funding right now. But in this instance, you can still get funding, but you would need to wait a little while in order to get your increase. Okay. So that is the EIDL loan. Now for the targeted EIDL grants. Okay. So this is an advance. It's called the targeted EIDL advance or grant. Grant, advance are interchangeable. They're the same thing. What does it mean? It's free money that does not have to be paid back. It is not a loan. It does not have loan terms, interest rates. But there are certain things you need to spend your grant and loans on. I have videos on the do's and don'ts of that. on our YouTube channel. But the Targeted EIDL Grant is a newer program that was implemented actually in 2022, late 2022. It was expanded and more funding was added under American Rescue Plan Act, $20 billion more. Okay, so we have around 19 billion that are still remaining for the Targeted EIDL grant program. And this program will get you the balance of your $10,000, right, that you should have gotten back in 2020. Or the entire amount, like myself, for those that did not receive any money in 2020 through the EIDL grant program. So in order to qualify for this, they started rolling this out in phases back in February of 2021. So there's two phases. So first, again, they started with those that had received partial amounts. So maybe you received $1,000, $3,000, but you did not receive the entire $10,000. They started with you. And then they started like 21 days later, sending out invitations to those that had applied to the program and did not receive any money due to the fact that the monies ran out. Now, you had to have applied to the EIDL Loan program in 2020 or by December 27th of 2020 in order to qualify for this program. There's still millions that have not applied. SBA sent out 1.6 million invites. And so there, even out of that pool, a lot have not responded. So it's sitting in your inbox, it's sitting in your spam, and you are not any wiser of the fact that you're potentially sitting on $10,000 or $15,000 under the advanced grant programs. In order to qualify for this, you must have 300 employees or less, live in a low-income community, or your business is in a low-income community. So I say live because if you're a 1099 worker, gig worker, where you live and where you work are the same address. If you have a brick and mortar business, then they go by your brick and mortar business, that location, and they have a specific map that is based on the IRS code that they use to determine if you are indeed in a low income community. And that map, you can actually check it yourself, put your address or your zip code in, and it will tell you if you're in a low income community. You also need to be able to demonstrate that you have experienced a 30% loss, decrease in gross receipts, gross sales, gross revenues. These are all the same, similar terms in a period in 2020 compared to the same period in 2019 in order to qualify for this program. Now, most recently, they sent out letters to at least 500,000 more business owners, entrepreneurs who applied for the program in 2021. Okay, hello, they're expanding the eligibility here, not the actual requirements, but they're opening up to a greater pool of small business owners and entrepreneurs. So if you receive that letter, please let me know in the comments. But they've opened it up to a greater pool of people. Now, I said in the last video, I have not seen that they made an official announcement. But when I went to the portal, when I went to the SBA website under Targeted EIDL, you will see that they have a button for you to apply for the loan. So right now, my understanding is that if you apply for the loan, then once you apply for the loan, you will get an email from the SBA letting you know you could potentially be eligible for the grant. But you have to apply for the loan first. And I went through, I tried to test it out yesterday. I did, not yesterday, the other day. I did not see that the button that they used to have that you say check if you want the EIDL grant, that is not going to be on there. I did not see it. You apply to the program, the loan program, then the SBA will send you an invitation to apply. This is for those individuals that apply in 2021. So there's still, right now, it's still billions of dollars in the pool to be claimed. Okay, and so why not? We want you to claim it. We want you to be able to get your money. So again, you can have the ability to get $10,000 under the Targeted EIDL, and then the next one, number 3, is the Supplemental EIDL Advance or Grant. So that's the $5,000. So you can get up to $15,000. Now, in order to qualify for the supplemental, so right now, if you apply, they changed it, right? Since I applied, But if you're applying right now, when you get the email invitation and you open up the actual application, it will you're applying for both at the same time. You're applying for the targeted EIDL up to 10,000 and the supplemental at the same time. There will be a line with a little box, a little button or box that says, I want to be considered for the supplemental EIDL Advance, and you want to check yes. If you don't check yes, you will not be considered for the extra 5,000. It is supplemental. There is $5 billion reserved for 1 million businesses to be able to get that $5,000 grant. Now, I have personally received both, received the 10,000, the targeted EIDL and the supplemental grant. So I've talked about that in previous videos as well, that it took me well over a year, right, to be able to get it when I applied way back in 2020. And I just kept the faith that I would get it. So we're still advocating to make sure everyone that really should get the grants, get the grants. But right now, this is the program. And there's still millions that actually have gotten the invite that has not responded to it, have not submitted their application, or you're stuck in the process. Or you're just waiting. So if you've done all that you can do in the SBA, you've called them and they said, ma'am, sir, we have all your information that you submitted. We're just processing it. Then all you can do is wait. However, sometimes, you think you're waiting on the SBA and they're actually waiting on you. There's something you did not do, some action you need to take to make sure you move it forward before they do run out of money. Now, we know they ran out of money real fast in 2020. It slowed the process down because there's more protocols, more fraud checks that they did not have before. This is, pros and cons to it. We definitely want to make sure the money gets to the right businesses, but it has significantly slowed down the process. There is speeding it up a little bit, but it's not that significant. And even if you have to wait for the money, I say get your application in. And like I said, I waited well over a year, almost a year and a half to be able to get my funds. And I'm so excited that I did. I didn't give up on the process. I monitored my emails for the invite. I'm a stickler for that, because you definitely want to make sure you don't miss it. And many millions of people, businesses have missed out on $15,000 just simply because they didn't check their emails. So don't let that happen to you. Go after it. Go get your money. And then just wait out the process. Hopefully it gets a little more quicker. I'm glad it went quick for me. One thing that I will say, just in case there's people watching right now that have not seen my previous videos, I remember I called when I was waiting on the process. See, I will follow up and I call on a weekly basis, or at least every 2 weeks, to make sure. I just wanted to make sure there was something on my side that I wasn't missing. And I was missing something. Okay. So I hadn't been waiting months, but it was getting close to that 21 days. And I'm like, I haven't heard anything, right? I'm checking my portal, and when I'm talking to the representative, we noticed that I had not clicked on the submit for processing button. Now I saw the button, but I was concerned that it said it was processing. If I hit this button, what is it going to do? So me not hitting that button meant that no one was looking at my file. And so many people, I have mentioned this several times, because people always come on and say, oh my goodness, I did not know I was supposed to hit that button. That was me. Okay. So if that is you in your portal, you want to make sure that you're clicking that submit for processing button, and then it will then move your status from processing to submitted. If it is not, if it does not say submitted, then that means that a loan specialist is not reviewing your application. You want a loan specialist to be reviewing it. Otherwise, it's just sitting there. Okay. So do make sure you follow up, that you check your portal, the status, what it's saying. And if you don't know how to access your portal, you don't have access to it. And even if you do, I will call the SBA and get a status. It doesn't hurt. Every two weeks to get a status, and just say, I just want to make sure there's nothing missing on my end. Also, sometimes what people tell me is that even with the loan and the grant, that they'll be denied, or they'll say that they need something. They're not clear on what it is that they're missing. Pick up the phone and tell them that. Say, I received this email stating XYZ. I'm not clear on what this means or what you're expecting me to submit. ask them to be specific. There's no time to be ambiguous where you don't know what to submit. Then you again submit the wrong thing. Pick up the phone, talk to a human being, and then ask them exactly what it is that you need to submit to verify. Because somebody sent me a message the other day, and they sent me a screenshot of what the request was for owner verification of owner structuring or something like that, something around that. So I'm thinking, and she's thinking, you submit your articles of incorporation. She submitted it. They said that wasn't what they were asking for. So I said, okay, instead of playing guessing games, just get on the phone and ask them to clarify. Like, what I know this to be is the articles of incorporation. If it's not an articles of incorporation you needing, what is it? What specific document do I need to submit to you in order to satisfy this requirement and move on to the next stage? Okay, that's what I would recommend that you do. So that's, again, we talked about the EIDL loan, the targeted EIDL advance grant, and the supplemental EIDL advance grant as well. Again, advance and grant are the same thing, and people get messed up. They overlook the emails because they see advance. They don't have a clue of what it is. They just ignore it. You're ignoring potentially $15,000 that can be supporting you in achieving your business goals. So do make sure that you follow up and do your part. Shuttered Venue Operators Grant is still available. This is a $16 billion grant fund, one of the newer grants under the American Rescue Plan Act, where you can get up to $10 million max under this program. This program is different. The process is a little bit more complex, where you have to be registered in SAM.gov. This is the federal award system. You have to have a DUNS number. This is for live venues, theaters, motion pictures, museums, aquariums. If you represent live talent, if you represent, comedians, artists, singers, singers, those that perform live, then you can potentially qualify for this program. Again, this is the Shuttered Operator Venue Grant, and it is still open for you to apply for. So I would recommend that you do that. I know they've been slow moving as far as dispersing the funds, so Congress has really been on the SBA regarding that. But get your applications in while the application portal is still open. And even if these programs don't apply to you specifically, I know you have peers, you have friends, families, neighbors, mom, pop shops in your neighborhoods that you go into. Ask them, do you know about these different programs that you could potentially qualify for them? And then share a video, tell them to come check out our channel, send them to the SBA website, because there so many businesses aren't even on social media to even know any of these things are happening. They're not even aware. Okay, they're not in the loop. So that's why it's important to be connected, and you can be that person that saves their business. And that happens every single day. It's happened for people watching this show. They just happen to come on here and they listen to the information. They were like, oh my goodness, I did not know this was available. And now I can go apply. Okay, so that happens every single day. Shuttered Venue Operators Grant, that applies to you or someone you know. Again, go ahead and apply, tag them in this video, share this video with them. Child care provider grants. Now, these are child care provider block grants. So if you or someone you know is a child care provider, whether you have to be licensed, right? So it's based on your state. This program is not administered by the SBA. This is a newer program as well that is part of the American Rescue Plan Act of 2021. It's around $40 billion, and it is administered through the Department of Health and Human Services, and the monies are given federally down to the states. So every state has a child care provider block grant. If you're not aware of it, I would recommend that you contact your state agency and inquire about it. So if you're a child care provider, there is money out there available. These block grants have been around forever. But the thing about this is that federal dollars are being given towards the programs to be able to help you be able to recover and also to be able to support your clients, right? The parents whose children are in your facilities, to kind of also help offset those costs, help you with the additional costs that you've had to incur to provide PPE training and equipment and services and the like. So again, this is a near $39-40 billion program through Health and Human Services that you could potentially get for your business. And I know I have many peers that are childcare providers, whether they're in-home or you have a childcare center, it's a brick and mortar. If you're licensed in your state, you meet the requirements. I know there's requirements around that, proper licensing, making sure there's no corrective actions, you're not under suspension. I mean, that should be a no-brainer. But reach out to your state agency and look into getting those grants. So, people may be aware of the grants, but may not be aware that there's the billions of dollars available that are being given to the states to actually give money to you to support your child care center and also the parents whose children you care for. Okay, so again, that is handled at the state. You could simply Google child care block grant in your state, right? And your state name and see what pops up. Start there. Okay, that is the child care provider grant. That is number 6. Employee Retention Tax Credit. So this is a tax credit for employers. So if you are an employer, you could be an employer of one. You can have one employee and qualify for this. So this is for employers, Employee Retention Tax Credit. This is tax credit you get on your taxes, your quarterly taxes. So a lot of you all mentioned that form 941, employer quarterly tax form. This is when we get into the tax credits, and there are quite a few related to employers. This is where you take the opportunity to get these credits, many of which are refundable tax credits that you can claim if you have employees. And when I say employees, what I mean is W-2 employees you have on payroll that you pay payroll taxes for. Okay, but this has been one, and it's been overlooked. Before you couldn't get this and PPP, but now you can get both. So if you have PPP, you can still claim this credit. You claim this credit on your quarterly taxes. So if you currently, you should either have an accountant or someone that is helping you, a bookkeeper with that, or you can hire someone in if you haven't done so already to help you with that, because these are significant tax credits that you can get per employee, per quarter, per period. That is significant. So I would hardly encourage you to do this. So again, this one is refundable and equal to 50% of qualified wages. If you, for periods of between March 13th, 2020 and December 31st of 2020, it was $5,000 per employee per period. And from January 1st, 2021 through current, right, June 30th of 2021, you can get up to $14,000 per employee per period. Okay, per period. And this again is you claim on your quarterly tax returns. Okay, then we have the employer tax credits. These are newer too under the American Rescue Plan. And these, by the way, fall under the Sick and Family Leave Program. Also, that is a relief. So there's many things that fall under that. These tax credits fall under the Sick and Family Leave Act. Okay, so these other employee tax credits I call the vaccine tax credits, or tax credits. Still, you will claim the same way, but these are provided for you as the employer for any employee that may get sick due to taking the vaccine, need to take time off. You can actually get a credit for this as well. I believe you get you can claim up to 2 weeks per employee for this. So if they take the vaccine, they get sick, they need to be out. You're not losing in that regard. You get to claim a credit for that as well. So again, that's the employer tax credit. You can find these information on the tax credits at irs.gov. Anything tax related, tax questions, tax information, tax education, you can get on the irs.gov website. You can simply Google employee tax credits and it will pull up and then you can see it there. They will also have hyperlink to that 941 form as well. But you should, if you're using an online accounting system, it should be built into your system. Okay, but not everybody, uses the same system or same methods. So the forms are there depending on how you submit your quarterly taxes. Okay, so that's for for vaccine. That's to encourage more vaccinations, to make sure employees are being responsible, making sure they're encouraging their people to get vaccinated so that we can move towards ending this COVID-19 pandemic. Now, for self-employed individuals, so again, there's a self-employment tax credit that is available to you as well. You don't have employees, so you're not going to use the same tax form. When you file on your Schedule C, it is there. So the option to claim the tax credit, but you must meet certain criteria. And you can also see information. It will be information when you file your taxes. So if you've already filed your taxes, hopefully you have already claimed this credit if you qualify for it. You should have seen it pop up. You can also get more information on the self-employment tax credit. It's also under the sick and family leave program. So one thing that you need to know about both, whether it's the vaccine tax credit or self-employed, you get $511 per day for up to 2 weeks. This is for a full-time person. And then a max of about $5,000. So I know I prepared taxes. I only prepared taxes for a few people, a few families now. But for one, they claim I was able to get them the tax credit, which was very helpful. And again, it was a $5,000 tax credit because one of the you can be under one of the fall under one of the criteria. And I know they have a family and one of them had to stay home due to the children having to stay home due to COVID. So their parents taking care of children. So they were able to claim that credit. So you just want to make sure that you meet the qualifications. And if you do, that you file you file for that as well. Another thing that I want to mention is that I didn't mention is the SBA Debt Relief Program. I want to make sure that I don't leave this program out because the SBA has other loans. I've talked about this in other videos, that there are other programs available that are non-COVID related as far as getting you funding, especially through the SBA. They have a number of different programs where they partner with the same lenders that have been working with you all or us on the Paycheck Protection Program. So, your banks, most traditional banks are partners. I know my bank, Huntington, is a really good bank. They are partner. They have the SBA loans. They are SBA authorized SBA lender. So if you have an SBA loan, whether it's a 7A loan, a 504 loan, a micro loan, you can qualify for debt relief. Now, this is not anything you have to apply for. This is automatic. Okay. And so just want to give you a little bit of information on this program. So if you have an existing loan, some of the things that happen are that they will pay, the SBA or the lender, they will make sure that 6 months of payments are paid for you. So if you're not in deferral, and if you're in deferral, what would happen is, my understanding is the first month after your deferral ends, they would do the same for you. So it would be 6 months of payments that they would pay for you. And then you have that deferral option. So again, this goes through your lender. This is something automatic. So you should have seen this reflected in your statements, or you should have received some type of correspondence through your lender. And I would also recommend too, if you have an SBA loan, you want to check with your lender to see if there's any other additional relief programs that they may have that you may not know about. That's why I say all the time, it's so important that you have a relationship or establish a relationship with your banker. That is so key. That was so helpful for me in the process of applying for the Paycheck Protection Program. And I've always made it a priority to build relationships, not only with my banker, but with many banks, because I am a small business advocate. So I always want to know what the various banks are doing to support the small business community. And I definitely want to know what my bank is doing and how I can help support them and how they can help to support me as a business owner. So I would encourage you all to do the same thing. So that is the SBA Debt Relief program. This is for loans approved up through September the 27th of 2020. Okay, 7A loans, 504 loans, and micro loans. So if you have any of those loans, let me know in the comments. And then, make sure that you did get those, that you are getting that debt relief. But again, it's not anything that you have to apply for. It's just automatic. They know if you're in their loan program or not. So I just wanted to recap really quickly the nine relief programs. If you're just coming on, that's what I'm discussing right now. What is available for small businesses now as far as stimulus relief? Some of these are administered by the SBA, but not all. Again, there's the EIDL loan, the targeted EIDL grant, the up to 10,000, the supplemental grant or advance up to 5,000. That is available up to $5 billion for 1 million businesses. There's still plenty of money there for both programs. Shuttered Venue Operators Grant is still alive and well in accepting applications up to $10 million max. The SBA Debt Relief Program, Child Care Provider Grant Program that is administered by the Department of Health and Human Services at your state level. So check with your state on the Child Care Provider grants if you're a child care provider. The Employee Retention Tax Credits that are refundable tax credits for you to file on your quarterly tax 941 form. Also, employer tax for helping your employees get vaccinated and recover from any vaccinations. That is an additional tax credit that you file on your form 941. Self-employment tax for all the self-employed individuals that file Schedule C. You will see that you can claim that if you meet the qualifications on your when you file your taxes. So if you filed your 2020 taxes already, and you check if you qualify for it, you should see that reflected on your taxes. Hopefully you did claim it, or you know how to claim it, or your tax preparer is qualified and knew to look for it. Okay, so this is not the first time I'm mentioning these programs. So hopefully you talk to your tax professionals, your accountants, to make sure that you're claiming everything that you're entitled to. You don't want to miss out on any money. You don't want to leave any money on the table, or have the people that you're working with cause you to leave money on the table. So there's definitely programs out here available. Those are just 9 of them. Those are the ones that are COVID related. I have mentioned before, I mentioned again that there are also other programs. I have a video on EIDL and PPP alternative funding. That is a great video. So if you're looking for other options for funding as well, not everything is COVID related. There's businesses doing very well. They just need extra capital for a number of different reasons. So tomorrow or Thursday, I will be doing a video specifically on that, on why small businesses need capital. It is not just due to COVID. We need it. We need capital every day. It is the heartbeat of our business to make sure we keep running, that we're able to meet demand, that we're able to get equipment when we need it. We're able to staff up when we need to. We're able to pay our employees. We're able to go after some of these government contracts, right? So there's a number of different reasons why you need capital. I mean, I'm actually in conversations with a peer now who saw the video. She might be watching right now. So she reached out to me. She applied through funding. I'm an independent agent with David Allen Capital. We have a new program called Bank Breezy, where you can get funded today, same day, up to $25,000. All you need is a 450 personal credit score, 5K monthly bank sales, and a business bank account, and be in business for 6 months. And so her situation is she makes a lot of money. She has a great thriving business, but she needs to buy new equipment to meet demand. So she needs a loan. Okay. And she's going after grants, but she says she has no problems going after getting a loan because she's going to turn that money right around. So she's really strategic in her business. So I know that there's people that need funding right now. I know you're waiting on the stimulus, you're waiting on your PPP to go through. You're waiting on the litigation to be finalized with the restaurant grant. You're waiting on your EIDL increase. While you're waiting, think about other alternatives. Not everybody can wait months and months and months for funding. If you need funding now, you can get up to $25K today or next day. The information is on the screen. It's also in the show notes and in the description. So we've been able to get many people funded. See if you qualify. No obligation, no hard pull on your credit. I know that's a concern for a lot of business owners. No hard pull. If you're an entrepreneur, sole proprietor, you can still qualify again if you meet the qualifications, and you must have a business bank account. So I can't say that enough, how many times, you may have gotten through with PPP having a personal account, and many did not. But the reality is you're going to lose out on a lot of opportunities by not having a business bank account. Just make the decision. You're managing your business. You're going to take your business to the next level, and you're going to get a business bank account. I know people that have been rejected before because they had the money. They've been in business 6 months. They have the 450 credit score, but they're running their business using a personal account. Let's take the time. It takes 30 minutes going to your bank. You can do some of them online, but go into your bank, set up a business account. Call them, ask them, what do I need to do to set up a business account? And usually it's a minimum deposit, like $50 deposit will get you your bank account open, if that's just depending on the bank. So let's get those business bank accounts. Let that be a step in moving forward to getting the funding that you are entitled to. Because what I've seen is, even with all these programs, you're waiting for the money. Now they go to deposit your funds, and now your bank account is messed up. You don't have the right account. And so now that causes further delays in you getting your money. I've seen it too many times to count, because people have personal account. A personal account that, is not typical to see business money coming into. So it throws up red flags for the bank, and they're like, SBA, $20,000, when they're only used to seeing $100, here and there come in, or maybe $1,000. Now, all of a sudden, there's this $20,000 that throws up red flags. And what they may hold your money, they shut down your account. It's happened to people, right? That's using Cash App, Chime, and some of these other bank accounts or apps. They will do it. So to prevent those types of things from happening in the future, do get your business bank account, okay? So I'm just going to go through. I see a lot of you all commenting. Again, thank you so much for tuning in. I hope this has been beneficial for you, and I hope you continue to go after the funding that is out there and available. This is not all the funding. I didn't even talk about states. We have a grant tracker on our website. It's also in the show notes. Just click on it. It is updated. There are multiple grants that have multiple rounds. There are grants, if they have a due date, a deadline, they're on there. So plenty of new grants to go after, pitch competitions. And that's just a starting point. You really need to go and contact the organizations we have listed in our resource center on our website, and go contact them in your state, in your city, in your county. And you will be surprised at what you find out. You may not have even known. A lot of you all haven't even thought to even call or ask or email your local government. What do you all have? Do you have a grant that I can apply for? They also have tax credits and also have loans you can apply for. But there's a lot of grants. Like one person, after a video, one lady, she shared her testimony, and I shared it here as well. She listened to the video. She took verbatim instructions of what I said, went and contacted the people at the county. Then she found out they had a grant program. She followed everything that I said, and she got $20,000 from her county in grant money, free money that she does not have to pay back. And it was between the time she applied and the time she got her deposit was 12 days. So there are plenty of states with multi-million dollar and billion-dollar programs right now, grant programs. If you're in California, you need to be on the list to apply for the grants. They've had numerous rounds. They've added more millions and millions of dollars to their program. Wisconsin, millions. Delaware, New York, has a program. I think they have an $800 million. So that's near $1 billion grant program for small business. So if you're in New York, are you applying for the New York Small Business Grant? For those in Ohio, if you're in Ohio, I've notified all of us that to be on the radar, because soon they will be launching a grant program here that's a little shy of $500 million, and they cover businesses in 4 different categories. So they have a category for businesses that applied before and they ran out of money. They have a category for restaurants and food industry. They have a category for hospitality and hotels, and they have a category for new businesses. So one of my businesses is a new business, and they said, okay, we're telling you we're getting ready to launch this. We're preparing for it. This is what you need to do to get prepared. So I'm already ready. You need to stay. I'm ready. They say you have to be signed up in this system. I'm signed up in the system. So I'm not going to be on day one they open it up trying to figure out how do I get in the system. I'm already in the system. So when they open up, I already have my ID number, and I'm just going to the application. I already have my documents in order, right? It's already in order, already ready. So I've explained many times. That's why I developed the tool, the cheat sheet, the winning grant application cheat sheet. We have the masterclass bundle available to show you, to teach you, to give you the insider tips and tricks on how to get more grant money, how to win this grant money. And so, I've gotten well over $100,000 at this point, and so have many of my peers. It's not really hard to do that when you look at all the programs and the amount of money that they're giving. And so I know with this new one for Ohio, the new businesses, it's going to be $10,000 for my business. That is really, again, every time I get this money, it's really helping me take it to the next level, because now I have a team. I'm able to invest in marketing. I'm able to invest in technology and platforms, more robust platforms that's really going to help us push out these initiatives to be able to provide more solutions to our customers and clients. So I know we're thinking this, and I know this is the same thing you're thinking. What can you use funding for? What are you going to do with the grant? These are questions you need to ask. These are questions they're going to ask. So you need to have goals for your funding. You need to have a mission, and you need to have a need, and be able to explain it in a way that is compelling, and then provide information that is accurate about your business and show up for them as a legitimate business. That is how you're going to be able to get the funding that you need for your business. Okay, so that's it for today. Again, I hope this has been helpful for you. Continue to be the boss with amplified impact. Continue to stay safe and in good health. Have a wonderful day.